こんなもんかよ。もっと来いや。ナンバそっちゃん。よくも俺の仲間を。大臣の一撃。
Hey everyone, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be taking a look at the Spitfire Formula 4 93A soft slider wheels. So the Formula 4 93A wheels are Spitfire's version of a soft wheel that also performs like a hard wheel, aka what Powell Peralta Dragons have introduced over the past couple years. But do these wheels stand out? Well, we'll take a look and see if it does. So I've had these wheels for a few weeks now, and I've been really enjoying them so far. When rolling on normal street surfaces, it doesn't feel like it's absorbing a lot of vibration, and it doesn't feel like it has the smoothest roll, but it does roll a lot longer compared to your traditional hard wheels like a 99A or a 101A. And if you had to compare this wheel to just like durometer, I would say it feels something like a 95A or a 97A, depending on your experience. Now, despite being marketed as a soft wheel, these wheels are very easy to get into a power slide. I had no issues whatsoever doing that, and every time I wanted to do it, I could do it with ease. And its power slide is a long, slippery slide that is still very controllable. And for me, I really like this sort of slide, but for others, this sort of slide may be too uncontrollable for them, and if they wanted a grippier slide, they might want to look elsewhere. I didn't find any issues when riding through a variety of terrain. I'd say where these wheels wouldn't hold up is when the terrain is very coarse. It has a very large gaps with a bunch of rocks in it, and I'd say for that sort of terrain, the wheels don't really work for that. But for your average normal streets and your normal average park, it's going to work really well for that sort of terrain. I found that in the skate park, it is still a nice fast wheel while still maintaining a good amount of grip. On wood surfaces, I found that it gripped really well and I didn't have any issues slipping out whatsoever. And that's also true for all the other surfaces that I rode these wheels on. I didn't have any issues slipping out despite the wheels having a really long slippery slide when you get into a power slide. I also didn't have any issues with doing slide tricks like nose slides and tail slides, doing 50-50s on rails, and also grinding on metal coping. I didn't have any hangups whatsoever, and nothing that could be blamed on the wheel itself. If I couldn't get into like a good normal slide, that was more so user error rather than the wheels itself. So far I said a lot of good stuff about the wheels, but what are the bad things about them? Well, I'd say the big one for me is that the wheels are, at this time of this video, very limited in the shapes and the sizes. There's only two shapes, the radio shape and the classic shape, and then the size ranges from 52, 54, 56, and I think 58, depending on the shape, because each shape only has 3 sizes available. So that may be something to consider if that is something you care about. I also do have a couple chips and breaks in the wheels, but other than that, I don't have any other major complaints about the wheels. Now from the inevitable, how do they compare against the Powell Peralta Dragons? Since that, I would say that in the actual market, if you're excluding the X formulas, the Powell Peralta Dragons are the only wheel that you can make a direct comparison to, because they both have the same purpose and they're the same exact durometer. So in my experience, I'd say the Dragons felt a little bit more smoother and a little bit more grippy while rolling compared to these Spitfire soft sliders. Now, is that a bad thing? No, not really. It is just going to depend on your personal preference. Did you want something that has going to be a little bit smoother roll and a little bit more grippy when it's coming down to the slides or just rolling itself? I'd say the Dragons will be a better bet for that. But if you want it the opposite, where it feels a little bit more like a normal hard wheel, and its slide is a lot more slippery and long rather than short and grippy, then I would choose the Spitfire soft sliders. But in my personal experience, honestly, they felt so similar to me that I could just flip a coin and pick either one. But that is just my experience. Your experience may differ. The Peralta Dragons also have a lot more shapes and a lot more sizes available. The Peralta Dragons sizes ranges from 52 millimeters all the way to 64 millimeters, and throughout all those size ranges, there are a lot of different shapes that one can choose from and really customize their setup to their liking. I would say Spitfire's marketing of these wheels is a lot weaker than I expected. Now, when the Peralta Dragons came out, I assume they sent out a lot of demo sets. They're really like showing like, hey, this is the next big thing, and they were really showing how these wheels worked. And I'd say it was really effective at getting the job done because, you know, they were explaining it, they were demonstrating it. Now with Spitfire, they're marketing this as a soft wheel. As you can see in their promo pictures, it's the most controllable and consistent sliding soft wheel out. And then what does one imagine when they hear soft wheel? You know, big longboard wheel, cruiser wheel that doesn't slide, it's only good for getting around, not doing tricks. And I think when people read that, some of them aren't going to look any deeper. They're just going to assume, okay, this is just a cruiser wheel. And from what I've personally seen, at least, they only have a couple videos out of like these wheels being performed, and they're just skate parks. It's not like an actual product explanation, breakdown, demonstration. Well, I guess you could call the skate parts demo of it. And oh no, yeah, and you know, the skateboarding is still sick, but for someone that's like trying to learn more about the wheel, it doesn't really give off much. But also, Spitfire is a really big brand name. They make good stuff, and Spitfire has a much bigger following than Powell, I would say. So just off the name alone, they could probably sell this wheel. But I know a lot of people are just going to stick with the 99As and the 101As. And you know, if the soft sliders don't sell well, then they're not going to expand this line with more options and shapes and pro models. They're just going to stick with the 99As, Formula 4s, like the Pro Series, like their shapes, and all that good stuff. So if there's like a specific shape or pro graphic or whatever you wanted for the soft sliders, you're probably not going to get those if that line doesn't sell as well as the 99As. But, you know, someone in the Spitfire marketing department probably has a game plan for that sort of stuff. So overall, I really like these wheels. I honestly haven't gotten into detail because I've been skating these, you know, hybrid, soft wheel, also hard wheel wheels for pretty much ever since the Dragons came out. And honestly, there isn't a lot of new stuff I could say about it. It's just a good wheel, and there's finally a direct competitor to the Peralta Dragons. But there isn't anything about it, in my opinion and in my experience, that makes it so that it pretty much kills off the Dragon. But I guess when you get it, you can just say you have Spitfires and not that you have Peralta wheels on your board. But yeah, that has been another video. I know it's been a while, still getting into the swing of things. But I hope you like it, I hope it helped you out, and I'll see you in the next one.